First off, I want to thank you, Pastor Roger, for giving me the opportunity to practice. And as you just said, it's next week. I'm looking very forward to that. A lot of us I've been working very, very hard, and I hope you enjoy it. Alright. So a few months ago, I was talking to my dad. He was telling me about all the crazy things he did when he was my age. Like, pulled a wheelie on 45 going south to Galveston on a bridge that's like this wide. And another time he told me he was going up this huge hill, which it was more like a cliff, he just didn't know it yet. And when he got to the top, there wasn't enough room for his truck to turn around, so he had to go straight. But when he was straight, he couldn't tell if it was a huge drop-off or if it was a nice incline. So he put his foot on the gas and hoped for the best. I mean, the list goes on and on. But then a question popped in my mind. Why is this crazy man alive? I mean, after all the stupid stuff he's done, why is he here? Which means I wouldn't be here if he died. Could that be why he didn't die all this time? So that I could be born, I can help lead him to Christ? I mean, we're all born for a reason, right? You know, I mean, my dad's not a saint. I could tell all of it, countless stories, where I'd go to his house, I would drink, get drunk, hang out, party, do all this stupid stuff. And, you know, it's funny how, even in my sin, God had a plan for me. He knew that I would find him, and now that I have, I know my mission. Whether it's at my dad's house, at my school, or around the world, I know what I'm called to do, and that changes everything. You know, we're all born for a reason. You know, Paul was once a top Pharisee. He killed Christians. Nobody would suspect him to be a follower of Christ, let alone the founder of so many churches. See, even in Paul's sin, God had a time for him. You know, and because of that, he changed everything. I mean, think of what today would be like if it wasn't for Paul stepping out and making a huge impact on the kingdom of God. I mean, that totally shapes almost everything today. I mean, this man wrote 2/3 of the New Testament. He totally impacted our world. You know, it's amazing to think about how great this man really was. And I know how hard it is to speak to family members and friends about God. It's like on a Wednesday night, we feel all pumped up and on fire for God. We tell ourselves, okay, Ryan, today's the day. Today's the day that I'm going to step out. I'm going to tell him what God has done for me. But we don't. Anybody know why? Because we're afraid. You know, we're afraid to step out and tell the world what God has done for us. I mean, really? That's ridiculous. You know, we let so many people fall from Christ because what we're afraid. This is odd. It makes me so aggravated. Romans 11:29. Can you put that up there, please? Romans 11:29 says, the gifts and the callings of God are irrevocable. Irrevocable means cannot be undone. Think about that. God gives us special gifts, whether to impact certain people and to reach out, whether they're to challenge people or whatever. I mean, He gives us these gifts, and they're not going to just vanish away. They're only going to grow in us and get better as our talent increases. You know, Moses didn't even think he had a talent. In fact, he thought the opposite. When God came to him and said, I want you to lead my people into the promised land, he said, no, God, I have a speech impediment. I struggle with my words and I stutter. Pick somebody else. But then God said, no, I will be with you and I will instruct you on what to say. And he was. You know, we all know the end of that story. He parts the Red Sea, he saves the Israelites out of captivity and brings them to the promised land. He uses the gifts God gave him and he impacted the world. You know, he used the abilities God gave him and he won. But if we could just let these things go that hold us back and stop caring more about what people think and start caring more about what God thinks, think of how we can impact so many lives. And if we could do that, it would change everything.